Here, hypothetically speaking, we apply this thinking. We humanize our digital experience with real people, real stories, real videos. We do away with the shiny, happy stock people. Hypothetically, I invest $20,000 to just a product line. That $20,000, though, with that same type of thinking, becomes $120,000 over the course of a year. But then there's that exponential factor because those stories and narratives have some life to them. Maybe a year, maybe 2 years, and then we come back and we revisit the current environment. Talk me through a process that I could think about bringing this type of perspective into my own financial brand, making it reality.
So I would think that, first of all, when we look at this kind of visual storytelling, we have to view it as something that is not optional. And I equate it to it is your organization's dress code. And I will ask anybody that says, show me the ROI from this, which is a completely valid concern because we're spending other people's money here. I'm going to come back and say, what's the ROI of your dress code? What's the ROI of pants? Tell me that. Tell me what the return on investment is of your corporate image. Can they quantify that? And I've asked this question of financial services leaders, and they've been like, okay, we haven't done that, but it's just the right thing to do. We want to differentiate ourselves. I said, this is the same thing. This is no different. This is your organization's uniform, is your visual images here. The second data point that I'm going to put up in front of them is a friend of mine named Dave Clevitter. He's the chief marketing officer of Dupaco Credit Union in Iowa, one of the largest credit unions in the country, if not the world. And he had a great quote that I said in one of my series of articles, that they completely got rid of stock photos, completely all using just all real members, all real images. And he embraced the power of the visual storytelling. But then he went on to say this. He said, real photographs can convey potential vulnerabilities. Absolutely. For a brand to throw it all out there to be real conveys a huge amount of, wait for it, trust. Members not only trust Dupaco with their money, but act in their best interest. And here's the killer line. I think this is largely responsible for nearly 10% net member growth last year. They change their images and they grow. Now, I will gladly have people to say that's one data point in one area. But I'm going to ask them, if you were a real person, you did not know me, would you rather interact with a stock, this generic representation of you, or do you want me? Which one do you want? Same thing. And the other example that I use is that when I go to your house, let's say you invite me over for dinner, we're talking about this. When I walk through your house, am I going to see images on your walls and in your frames are the stock images that came with the frames? No, you're going to have real photos in there of you. If you kept up even one frame of a generic image, it's going to seem a little bit weird. That's your own home. You took time and effort to decorate it with who you are. And so I'm going to ask them, walk me through the logic that says that you can decorate your homes in personal images and invite me in. But even one image of something that's not you, that's generic and unreal, that's going to be weird. Walk me through the logic that says you can do that at your own house, but not at your organization. I'll wait. And that may sound really aggressive, but I think that's the point that we need to get to. That's the equivalence that those are the connections we need to start making. Because I don't think any other thing is really going to resonate.
I mean, it really is. This is the moment of truth. This is the dip. This is the call to action to where some tough choices have to be made of how we're going to move forward. I'm going to pose this from another perspective. What happens if we don't take action? What happens if we remain the same? How much will that cost us?
Gosh, here's the interesting thing. I think that in many ways, we have nowhere to go but up. I think if many folks, I think you will have as many compelling arguments to stay where they are than you will have for people to say, yeah, we're going to change. I think there will be some organizations that are happy with, okay, yeah, we didn't make the change and we really didn't see a difference. And we're actually seeing more people because, for whatever reason. I think it's still going to be catastrophic. I still think it's going to be a catastrophic opportunity to really gain the trust of our membership, gain the trust of our customers, to say nothing of our employees. That's the other kind of unmentioned element in all of this. Our most important assets, they don't appear anywhere on our sites.
Yeah.
We don't talk about the good work that they do. Jim Nussle, the head of the Credit Union National Association, has equated bankers, credit union professionals, all of them. He's called them financial first responders. And I think that is a brilliant way of entering into this.
Yes.
If we're not honoring them, if you are saying that you are much more comfortable doing a 5-second search for a stock photo, shiny, happy people punching in things on a computer, versus actually saying, hey, Linda, over there in accounting or member services or in commercial banking or wherever, walk me through your day. Can I sit with you for a day and I can just on my phone just take images of how the hard work that you're doing? If you're willing as an organization to tell me that you're not worth that few hours of effort, why should I want to continue to work with you? It's that tacit way of saying that, yeah, these are all corporate buzzwords, but we don't really believe it, you know?
Yeah.
So I think it's a failure at a human level. I don't know how you can quantify that. It's a failure at a human level. And if we as financial institution professionals are not willing to admit that, then we should get out of this industry. We're doing it for the wrong reasons.
What you just cued in on from Jim, financial first responder. I've been talking about the same things with the financial brands we advise, because right now we are in the midst of the COVID-19 health crisis. Very quickly following that is, if it's not already begun, is the COVID-19 financial health crisis. I've heard nurses, I've heard doctors say that this health crisis, this is why we train. This is our Super Bowl moment. The same is going to be true for us in financial services. This is why we train. This is why we do what we do. This financial health crisis is our Super Bowl moment. I know that you've been working to document some of these healthcare worker stories. There's the same opportunity to do that for financial brands as well, to tell these
Absolutely. Stories. And I would jump at the chance to do that. I mean, obviously social distancing, if their entire call center just wants to come up to the window, I'll take a picture of them. It doesn't matter. It's what motivates somebody to leave their family, to leave that cocoon of safety and go in and process these payroll protection program loans, these EIDLs, these answering businesses' questions about how am I going to stay in business, answering someone's questions about how am I going to keep paying the bills. The level of expertise that we have sitting in our organizations right now, the sheer level of brain power that they're having to apply to these situations, while also at the same time asking the same questions of their own world, but keeping it professional and serving other people in the same boat that they are, it is extraordinary. And I would jump at the chance to tell those kind of stories. And we as an industry, completely financial services as a whole, we owe it to those folks to be able to say, you busted your butt to try and work from home while trying to help your kid do their school from home, while trying to be a good husband and wife and provider, while also trying to provide a seamless level of care for our members and customers. There needs to be that level of honoring, because like you said, that devastation, that financial devastation that people are experiencing right now has been going on for many, many years in other populations. We just haven't seen it yet because we haven't want to talk about the human toll.
Yeah.
Money's the last thing that we want to talk about. Money's the last thing that most people will talk about in polite conversation. And I think that Band-Aid is starting to get ripped off. We as financial institutions have the profound opportunity to prove that we love people and we use money to do it, and not the other way around. How brave are we to be able to step into that space? That's the challenge I'm laying out there.